Have you ever gotten that feeling, you've just snagged an amazing deal, but later you start to wonder, wait, was I just played? Well, there's this hidden mental glitch that's at work in pretty much every decision we make, from what we buy to how we negotiate our salaries. It's called anchoring bias, and once you understand it, you'll start seeing the world a little differently.
Okay, so imagine this. You're scrolling online, and there it is, the perfect jacket. You look at the price tag, 300 euros. Instantly, without you even realizing it, your brain locks onto that number. That's our starting point.
But then, bam, you see that beautiful bright red slash through the price. It's now on sale for 150. That's half off. Your heart kind of races a little, right? It feels like an absolutely incredible bargain.
Your immediate gut reaction is just pure excitement. You feel like you're saving 150 euros. But here's where we need to pause and ask the big question. Are you really? And this is where our brains play a little trick on us. What if that jacket was never ever intended to be sold for 300 euros in the first place? Your perception of a good deal wasn't based on the jacket's actual value, but on that initial, much higher number. Your decision-making process has just been anchored. So, what is this hidden force exactly? Let's put a name to it and define it, because understanding what it is, well, that's the first step to thinking more clearly. This is it, anchoring bias. It's our brain's natural tendency to just latch onto the very first piece of information it gets, we call that the anchor, and then use that as the main reference point for everything else that comes after. And this is the real kicker. Once that anchor is dropped, every single judgment, every evaluation, every counteroffer you make gets pulled toward it, even if that initial anchor was completely random or irrelevant.
So where else does this pop up in our daily lives? Well, once you know what to look for, I promise you are going to start seeing these anchors absolutely everywhere.
Let's circle back to our jacket. The anchor totally changes the question your brain is trying to answer. Instead of asking the logical question, is this jacket worth 150 euros to me? Your brain is asking, wow, am I getting a good discount? See how the focus shifts from the actual value to the perceived savings? This is a massive one in any kind of negotiation. Buying a car, talking about your salary, whoever throws out the first number basically sets the playing field for the entire conversation. A really high opening offer tends to pull that final price up, while a low one pulls it down. It's an incredibly powerful tool. And, it's not just about money. That first impression you get of someone, that's an anchor for how you view them from that point on. An early, off-the-cuff estimate for a project deadline can anchor the whole team's expectations. Even a doctor's initial hunch about a diagnosis can anchor their thinking, making it harder to consider other possibilities. Okay, so why are our brains so vulnerable to this? Is it some kind of flaw? Well, not really. It's actually more like a mental shortcut that, sometimes leads us down the wrong path. Think about it. Our brains are built for efficiency. They're constantly looking for the easiest, fastest way to make a decision, and that means looking for some kind of reference point to start from. I mean, making a decision from a complete and total blank slate is mentally exhausting. It is so much easier for our brains to just start with some number or idea and then make adjustments from there. So, to save all that energy, your mind does something simple. It just grabs the first available piece of information it sees. That $300 price tag, that first salary offer, that initial gut feeling, that becomes the starting block. And here is the most critical part of the whole process. We do adjust away from that anchor, but we almost never adjust far enough. We stay tethered to that initial value, and that's exactly how the bias warps our final decision. Now, this might all sound like a harmless little quirk of the mind, but this mental glitch can have some seriously real-world consequences for our money, our careers, and how we plan for the future. When we're anchored, we can easily end up overpaying for things, getting the short end of the stick in a negotiation, or creating totally unrealistic project plans based on one wild guess. It can even lead to biased performance reviews based on just one first impression. It basically locks us into a certain way of thinking before we've even had a chance to explore. Okay, but the good news is we are not helpless here. You can't really stop anchors from appearing, but you can absolutely learn to recognize them and weaken their pull. So here's how you can start to take back control. First, and this is maybe the most important one, delay your judgment. Just pause. Don't react right away. Give yourself time to think. Second, generate your own anchor. Before you even look at their price, do your own research. Come up with your own number.
Third, question the source. Ask yourself, why is this the starting point? Is it even reasonable? And finally, a fun one. Consider the extremes. What if this cost 10 times more or 10 times less? That little thought experiment can help shatter the anchor's hold on your mind.
So let's wrap this all up with one crucial takeaway. That first number you see or hear, it is not just a neutral piece of information. That's what it is. It's influence. It's a deliberate or sometimes even an accidental attempt to frame your thinking and guide your decision in one particular direction. Really, the most powerful thing you can do is just be aware that this is happening. The moment you spot an anchor, you start to strip away its power. So the next time you see that first price or hear that first offer, just ask yourself, is this information or is it an anchor? Noticing it is the first and most important step to staying in control.